Folks, there's no point pretending it hasn't been a little while since we've done a live stream. For those that are eagle-eyed, you might be able to spot I'm in a completely different room. Not only am I in a completely different room, I'm actually in a completely different house. So my wife and my children, we've all moved to a completely different house. The disruption has been pretty significant. So it, I think, has been 4 or 5 months since I've uploaded some content. That's in part to do with the house move. It's in part to do with just being kind of life, just being very busy, work, joyful as it is, but taking up a fair whack of my time. And I've had a bit of illness in the family that we've... so basically, I've been prioritizing other stuff. It's been right for me to do that, but the hankering to get back to delivering content, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I have got. We're not using that today. There's a number of reasons for that, most notably to do with compatibility with the PMDG 737, the 777, albeit the 737 we're flying today. And this stream is focused on beyond ATC's traffic injection. Very impressed with this program. They announced just before Christmas that there's a large language model that they're going to be using. That's very posh words for ChatGPT type service, where it can interpret what you're saying, but working within the constraints that they've imposed with the ATC system that they've developed. Now, Beyond ATC does work with Flight Simulator 2024. I think the traffic injection we're looking at today, again, does work with 2024, albeit with some nuances. I'm going to be using, for Pushback, I'm going to be using things that, again, work okay with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but work significantly better. 2020, for the purpose of this, is a lot more stable. Plus, flying in VR performance is pretty solid for me. So let's get into the flight. So we are going to be setting up using SimBrief, the excellent integration that we've got now within the simulator itself. It's a saved flight. And we are going to be flying from Edinburgh, Echo Golf Papa Hotel, to Bristol, Echo Golf Golf Delta, in the Boeing 737-800, albeit we are in a Ryanair livery because I forgot to change it. So we will change our call sign to a Ryanair call sign. So we're not going to be flying British Airways today. Ryanair, we're slumming it with Ryanair, and we will be Ryanair for Papa Mike today, because why not? Boeing 737-800. Ryanair's cost index normally 6. That's a little bit more sluggish than I want to be, so we'll cheat and stick with British Airways cost index of 18. The fuel calculation's pretty good on this, so no need, in my very humble opinion, to add a load of extra fuel. We're on the latest ARC cycle, so block time of approximately 1 hour 25 minutes, looking like a runway 24 departure. That will give us the Gotham 1 Charlie, SID, and then arrival into runway 27 will be the WEVB 1 Bravo. I suspect we'll get vectored to final, but we shall see. Maybe we'll get a transition. This route I've already checked to be compliant with all of the European ATCs, so that's all good. We'll leave passengers to auto, payload, etc., etc. So let's generate that flight. Okay, looking good. So airtime of a smidge less than an hour, so relatively short flight tonight. Flying flight level 330. 144 passengers on board. So that all looks pretty good. Let's get a GSX. Couldn't remember the name of that earlier. So GSX, the tool I was referring to, that does work with Flight Simulator 2024, but you know, it's going to work better, I think, for there's a whole heap of features it keeps trying to disable for 2024. So beyond ATC with the traffic injection enabled. Start getting the aircraft configured whilst
beyond ATC connected.
That's just sorting itself out. Got no lighting in here. We're flying real time. We probably want some ground power. So let's get some ground power connected. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, folks. It does feel good to be streaming again. Dead STK says howdy, y'all. How's she going? Yeah, going good. Rubber Ducko 5 says hey Lou. Hey Rubber Ducko 5. Right, we've got ground power, so let's get this show on the road. We're going to want a little bit of lighting on, I would wager. Let's get the emergency lights on, and let's start to calibrate. Navigation, because I'm a bit of a nerd. I like to set this stuff to accurate, accurate timings for the IRS alignment. We will get that on, and that is looking pretty good. So this is a virtual reality channel, so I'm going to get myself over into VR, and we'll get the ATC tuned in. Let's just check actually before we do that. Yeah, so look, you can see it's injecting traffic in some of the wrong places, because I'm not sure you would put those aircraft in that configuration on those stands. I don't know. Maybe the ground controller's got some crazy skills and he's going to back us off before these EasyJet flights. I don't know. Either way, look, that's pretty nice. We've got some nice actual traffic. You're going to hear that on the radios whilst we're flying around, and yeah, that feels pretty good. So let's hop into VR. Okay, so that's us back into VR. Let's make sure Beyond ATC's all started up. It must have done, because it's got the traffic injection going. We don't need that light on anymore. Apologies if I bash the microphone with my headset. It happens a fair bit, I'm afraid, because I can't see the real world while I've got a VR headset strapped to my head. So let's get SimBrief loaded up and Evergraph charts loaded up as well. One of the very jarring things with VR is really hurts the frame rate as the Navigraph stuff loads in. Once it's loaded in, it's fine. That's looking good. Let's get those menus a little bit bigger. Nice. Okay. Cool. Right, let's get the ATC dialed in, 131355.
Scottish Control, Logan 93 Yankee, flight level 250.
Not Scottish Control just yet.
4. Transition level 070. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Papa.
So I'm using OpenMeBoard to be able to take notes in VR.
Edinburgh Airport information, Papa. 2132 Zulu. Wind 260 at 5. Temperature 03. Dew point -01. QNH 0987. Landing and departing runway 24. Transition level 070. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Papa.
Okay, so that's cool.
Edinburgh Airport information, Papa.
Get our clearance.
2132 Zulu. Wind 260 at 5. Temperature 03.
7.
Dew point -01. QNH 0987. Landing and departing.
Okay. Edinburgh Ground, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike radio check.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike readability 5.
Cool, that's looking good. Right. Let's get the QNH dialed in now, because I have a little habit of forgetting certain things. So, we're not necessarily following the checklists perfectly today. There we go. Okay, so we are going off to Edinburgh. We're going to get the Gotham 1 Charlie, and it's just the squawk really that we need. Edinburgh Ground, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, type Boeing 738 at stand 22 with information Papa, QNH 0987. Request IFR clearance to Bristol.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike Edinburgh Ground, thanks for Papa. Expect runway 24, Goza 1 Charlie departure. Squawk 6716.
Expect runway 24, Gotham 1 Charlie, squawk 6716. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, read back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Call you when ready for push and start. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Okay, right, we're gonna forgo some of... I'm gonna use GSX to do all of the loading of the aircraft, etc. today. We'll skip that. We're just gonna use it for pushback. So, block fuel, 5,062 kilograms. Again, this is all coming from SimBrief. And we have got 144 lovely passengers with us this evening. And cargo 3,200, so let's call it 1,600 at the front and at the back. Nice and straightforward this evening. Ground services, we've got ground power on there. So let's start getting position initiated. We are Echo Golf Papa Hotel and we are stand 2-2. Origin is going to be Echo Golf Papa Mike, runway 24, and Echo Golf Golf Delta for our destination. We are Ryanair. So Romeo Yankee Romeo 4 Papa Mike this evening. With the departure, Gotham 1 Charlie. Execute that. Let's get our flight plan in. So, airway Peace 600, Papa 600. Coming off at Fennec. Then Lima 612. Exit at Elbus. Uniform Lima 612. There we go, we've got the IRS aligned. Off at DCS. Uniform November 864. Off at Subak. Direct Nokin. November 862 again. Kano, which I think is around about our top of descent if memory serves. Direct L-hop. Relatively complicated route for quite a short flight actually. The direct Luxor. That's interesting, we can hear the engines of another aircraft. Direct Luxor N862 to Webby. Webby being the beginning of instrument approach. Webby, standard terminal arrival. So Webby, we won't program that in, we won't be that presumptuous. Execute that. 0 fuel weight, we can cheat and get that in because we're in a simulator. Reserves are today 2.2 kilograms. So that's our alternate and our the FinRes, which is the amount of fuel that you should have, the absolute minimum amount of fuel that you should have when you've shut down at the taxiway. So that's the you shouldn't eat into that fuel. Cost index Very aggressive 18 for Ryanair this evening, and we are cruising at flight level 330. I'm going to be incredibly lazy and not bother to put the wins in. You only need to fill in stuff in boxes. The dash lines are optional. You probably should do it, but again, we benefit from living in simulator land. We're not going to derate the engines. It's a moderately short runway here at Edinburgh. We probably could derate, but there's a whole load of calculations we'd have to do that, and I don't want to do them, so we're not going to bother. Again, the beauty of being in a simulator. Takeoff will be flaps 5 this evening. Again, centre of gravity through the magic of simulation. So we have got a V1 decision, 133 knots, rotate at 135, and one engine climb V2 at 145 with a trim of 5.52. Right, let's get the APU started. Monitoring this EGT exhaust gas temperature is going to spike up rapidly, then it's going to drop down. As that drops down, we'll be able to switch our power over to the actual APU. Right, we've got our QNH dialed in. The other thing I always forget is to set my transponder, so let's do that now. 6, 7, 1, 6. Okay, got that dialed in. Over to that. Let's, I think we're pretty well ready for pushback. Let's get these flight directors on. Probably a bit earlier than we need to, but let's get a little bit of lighting in here again. This is not a perfect checklist departure today. Good enough for the purposes of what we're doing. Right, let's get ready for pushback.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set. Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
As always, this is an alcohol-fueled stream, so bit of traffic moving around there. Right, let's get the parking brake on. Let's get rid of those wheel chucks, and that will also get rid of the ground power.
Locking gear.
It's interesting, and there's I mean, Beyond ATC is really good for what it is and how long it's been out. There's weird sort of bugs. It's slightly sporadic in the direction that it tells you to face, but Edinburgh ground, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, request push and start.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike Edinburgh ground pushback approved. Face northeast.
Push and start approved. Face northeast. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
So look, one of the naughty things I've done is not put the strobe on. Terrible behaviour. Still, one of the things the simulator does that's very annoying is the Bing data mapping always disconnecting. Always does it for me on taxi. Never does it up in the air. Always when I'm taxiing, it seems to have a problem. Just having a quick look at the chat. Hannies, hi, how you doing? Yeah, PMDG 737, 737-800 to be specific.
Set parking brakes.
We're on, JB, we're on 2020 this evening because we're in the PMDG, which is not yet compatible. Some challenges getting the C++ tools that PMDG need to port this over to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right, let's get some engines going. Okay, N2 coming up. N2 of 24, introducing fuel. Beeping is GSX waiting to tell me that we've got good engine start, which of course we don't know. They did tell me to wait to start the engines because of the icing conditions, so can't have it always GSX. Okay, coming up. I'm going to get an N2 of about 58, 59. Oh, low, okay, 57, okay, 58, yes, sort of still creeping up, but generally stable. Let's get engine 1 started, and 2 coming up. Introducing fuel. There we go, engine's coming up. Okay, auto throttle, VNAV, LNAV. We want the runway heading to 140 degrees exactly for Edinburgh. And SID's at 6,000. Okay, that's all good. Right, let's get some air conditioning on for the passengers. Let's flip over to the engine power and let's get the APU off. Let's let the pushback truck go.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, go flaps 5. And trim of 5.52. Good enough.
Unlocking gear.
Let's get the tower dialed in, 118705.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
And I'm just making note of the departure frequency. And that will be... It'll be this radar 128.9 at 8. One of the other slightly frustrating things about Beyond ATC is its ability to understand Niner is notoriously terrible, actually. Okay, I think we are almost there. Let's do some checks. So right full, left full, forward full, back full, left full rudder, right full rudder. That's all looking good. Right. Edinburgh ground, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike requests taxi to the active.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, runway 24 taxi via Golf, Lima Mike Alpha Delta.
Runway 24 via Golf, Lima, Mike, Alpha, Delta, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. So Golf, Lima, I don't know why it's giving us Mike, because that's getting us onto Alpha. And then I assume he wants us to go holding point Delta 1. We'll assume that that's what he meant. So let's get some taxi lights on. Let's also dial in. We're going flight level 330. Grand. Okay, we're looking good. Let's get this party going. Brake check. Yep, looking good. All of these aircraft that you can see here are all injected by Beyond ATC. Now you have to have some models to do that. There's a few different places that you can get that from. Some excellent freeware ones. They're not small in size to download. Golf Lima, it wanted us to go down, and it sort of gave us Lima and Mike, so kind of does that every time. Slightly confusing, really, like, because this is Lima, Mike is the next one over. Certainly when you're in VATSIM, you would just get something like taxi holding point Delta 1 via Golf Lima and Alpha, like. But given that it's an AI bit of software that's picking up hundreds, if not thousands, of airports all around the world, and building that in an automated way rather than someone going in and manually configuring every single one of those, like, you've got to doff your cap to the guy. It's pretty impressive. Look at all the snow on the ground here. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Probably should think about some anti-ice. Generally don't find that I need it, but I should probably concentrate on my taxiing just for now. about to get a handover to tower.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike. Contact Edinburgh Tower 118.705.
Over to tower 118.705. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Okay, so we're over to tower. Let's get departure dialed in. Okay, 128.908. Get rid of our pen just for now. Okay, I think we're looking good.
All aircraft be advised, information Quebec now current QNH 0987.
Okay, same QNH. Winds may have changed, but we'll get that anyway. Edinburgh Tower, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, holding short runway 24, ready for departure.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Edinburgh Tower, wind 240 at 7, runway 24, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 24, clear for takeoff, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Okay, heading select on. It's a shame because you never really show it properly in the way it looks in VR on a live stream, but as you taxi onto that runway, you're never going to get that experience on a flat screen monitor. It's just epic, absolutely epic. Okay, rolling start, so let's go 40%. Engine spooling up, looking good, nice even. Right, go toga, stick forward.
Airspeed alive. 3 knots.
Cross check. Rotate. And up she comes.
Positive recline.
Gear up. Nice. And let's get
Ryanair
flaps
4
up.
Papa Mike, contact Edinburgh departure 128.908.
Departure on 128.908, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Yeah, got it. Normally takes a couple of attempts. Nice. Edinburgh departure, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Gotham 1 Charlie, 2,800 for 6,000.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike, Edinburgh departure. Good evening. Identified. Climb to flight level 160.
Climb to flight level 160, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Beautiful. So 250 knots, below 10,000. Let's get some lights off. Nice clear skies this evening. Well, let's go to standard barometric pressure as we're climbing to a flight level. Ha! Did such a good job, except not got my traffic on, not got my weather on, not got my terrain on. There we go, that's better. Right, look, and I don't know if you can see that just over there, but there's aircraft in the distance. You can see its running lights. In fact, there's a few. That's all being injected by Beyond ATC. You'll hear the chatter coming over the radio, etc. It's actually being controlled by Beyond ATC. Actually, the actual flight is being controlled. It's very cool. A Swedish VR pilot says, are you using stabilizer for the VR stream? Yeah, I use an app that allows you to kind of like reduce down the responsiveness just to make it a little bit smoother. It'd be great to get some feedback on how if that's working well or not. But yeah, it's also a tool that allows me to use the eye tracking of the Varo Aero so that I can get eye tracked foveated rendering just to try and improve the frames a little bit. But yeah, it just allows you to reduce the sort of twitchiness. Yeah, I'm just sort of just peeking, looking at the stream. If you can see the running lights of that aircraft just there. Look, I mean that's very cool, and we should be able to see that aircraft. I think he's just tucked underneath us, so that's very, 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 very cool. Oh yeah, look.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike. Contact Scottish Control 119er, decimal 875.
Scottish Control 119er, decimal 875. Ryanair 4, Papa Mike. Scottish Control, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, flight level 145 for flight level 160.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Scottish Control radar contact. Climb to flight level 330.
Climb to flight level 330, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Up we go. Right, let's use this because it's faster. 330, nice.
Scottish Control, Transavia 8 November, flight level 370.
Transavia 8 November, Scottish Control identified.
Okay, let's get some landing lights off. We could probably start to creep our speed up as well. It's gonna be using level change, so it's going to slow down our vertical speed just so it can pick up that speed, then it will pick up the vertical speed again. We'll sort of go up in increments of 10, I think, get ourselves up to 270. Yeah. Look at that, just the simulator continues to just blow me away. It's a shame you can't see the kneeboard in
ICAIR
the stream.
750 heavy. Contact London Control 118.775.
Contact London Control 118.775. ICAIR 750 heavy. Have a good evening.
And that's just great from an immersion perspective, like being able to hear the chatter from the other aircraft. There's some sliders that you can use in Beyond ATC on how much traffic density that you want. I've dialed it back a little bit for the stream, so I can actually talk and you can hear me okay without being constantly bombarded over the radio. But when I'm just flying on my own, I dial that right up, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, the air traffic control will manage conflicts. They'll sequence in as you come into airports, etc. Now that's inconsistently good. I've had moments where it's been really good, and I've had moments where it's like, what on earth are you doing? Going right up the bum of another aircraft like that. The separation. I think they've still got work to do on sort of allocating speed control, etc. But I mean, I'm not going to criticise the guy. I mean, I'm genuinely, profoundly impressed with what he's managed to do with that bit of software. It feels good to be back on stream. I mean, to give you some sense of, like, I mean, obviously we moved house, which is pretty disruptive. Most of my PCs are water cooled. Had to drain all of the loops of that. Had a very, very well engineered office for those that have been following the channel for a bit longer. I mean, that took weeks to dismantle, and yeah, just some illness in the family that we've been dealing with, etc. So it's just would have been wrong actually for me to have prioritised this with other things going on. But comes a point where you have to, you know, things that matter to you, you have to make some time for them, and here we are. Okay, coming up on flight level 250, so another 8,000 feet to go. Let's have a little look at what's going on at Bristol. So 2150 Zulu, so that wasn't a very long time ago. Albeit they sort of seem to change these every 30 minutes or so. So wind 270 at 12. That's coming straight down runway 27, so we know which runway we're going to get. What's our QNH? 0994. 0994. Temperature 3, dew point 3. Brilliant. So we've got fog. It's going to be Webby 1 Bravo arrival. So we can start getting some of these charts up. We'll almost certainly, with the fog, get an ILS. So let's get approach runway 27 ILS. Now we'll get some of this dialed in now. We're Boeing 737-800, so everything is manual, nothing comes from our flight plan. ATIS 12.
Scottish Control, Ryanair 77 Hotel Uniform, descending via NP1 Echo, flight level 223.
Ryanair 77 Hotel Uniform, Scottish Control identified.
Being naughty and taking the ATIS on a second radio rather than monitoring guard, but no one's communicating on guard in here, and I've got no other way of getting that information without listening to it on the second radio. Let's get ILS details dialed in. So ILS frequency 11015. One. Get it in on both so we can do an auto land if we need to. 267 for our course this evening. So Airbus, a lot of this is automated. Certainly on the 777 it's all automated. Where's the fun in that, eh folks? Okay. It looks like we've not made. It looks like we've not gone very far, but actually, that distance there, you'd be surprised how quickly we'll close that down. Nice. So, top of descent between Rizzler and Carno. That's just before we get to. That's Rizzler, Carno, and Star starts at Webby. We're going to be flight level 160, I think it is, at the beginning of Webby. So. We'll probably get specific instructions to descend to specific altitudes rather than a sort of descend via...
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, contact London Control 118.775.
London Control 118.775, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. London Control, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, flight level 330.
Continue climb to flight level 360, Air France 76 Foxtrot Golf.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, London Control identified.
Oh, I feel like I cut across someone then. I'm fairly certain the frequency was clear when I stopped.
Ryanair 4 Lima Tango, contact Dublin information approach 118.5.
Contact Dublin information approach 118.5, Ryanair 4 Lima Tango. London Control, Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, flight level 096.
Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, London Control identified, climb to flight level 240.
What's company aircraft up
Climb
in
to
the air
flight
this
level
evening?
240, Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha.
Blue Max
562, London Control. Expect Peony 1 Mike, runway 23 right.
Expect Peony 1 Mike, runway 23 right, Blue Max 562.
If you can see here, look, there's a whole load of traffic coming up on our... That's very cool.
London Control, KLM 1293, good evening, flight level 400.
KLM 1293, London Control, radar contact. KLM 1293, London Control, expect APA 1 Echo, runway 24.
Expect Agent 1 Echo, runway 24, KLM 1293.
Blue Max 8 X-ray, turn left, heading 300, vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 64 miles. Turn left, heading 300, Blue Max 8 X-ray.
London Control, French Post 8 Sierra November, 5,400 feet.
French Post 8 Sierra November, London Control, good evening, radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 370.
Continue climb to flight level 370, French Post 8 Sierra November.
Easy 84 Kilo Yankee, descend to flight level 070.
Descend to flight level 070, easy 84 Kilo Yankee.
You know, we're clearly coming up to the end of the life cycle of Flight Simulator 2020. They've done a really good job of getting this thing nice and stable. I'm about to give this entire stream the kiss of death, aren't I? But very rarely...
London Control, Ryanair 7 Lima Romeo, descending via Abley 4 Lima, flight level 236.
Very rarely get crashes to desktop and stuff like that now.
Ryanair 7 Lima Romeo, London Control, radar contact.
Well, just nice, that little bit of chatter in the background there. The ATC.
Blue Max 562, Peony 1 Mike, runway 23 right. Report ready for descent.
Peony 1 Mike, runway 23 right, ready for descent, Blue Max 562.
Blue Max 562, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Blue Max 562.
KLM 1293, descend to flight level 260.
Descend to flight level 260, KLM 1293.
Because I've got the ATC now and you can hear the chat going on in the background, you do get some epic call signs like Neptune, which is a British freight carrier based out of Nottingham Airport. Neptune, brilliant call sign. A German Eagle,
London Control,
there's
Ryanair
another one.
14 November. Good evening, descending via SC1 Kilo, flight level 263.
Blue Max 79 Tango Kilo, London Control, expect radar vectors ILS runway 25.
Expect radar vectors ILS runway 25, Blue Max 79 Tango Kilo.
Ryanair 14 November, London Control, radar contact.
London Control,
So you can see...
KLM 965, good evening, descending via SC1 Kilo, flight level.
Just turn ATC down a little bit so I can talk to you, but you can see the running lights of an aircraft over there. You can see that here, look, on the traffic.
Ryanair 594 Echo, descending via Abley 4 Lima, flight level 245.
It's just great, and if you get too close to the aircraft, I mean, you get the traffic warning.
London Control, Ryanair 2 Kilo, good evening, flight level 114.
I've put it on TA only.
Ryanair 2 Kilo, London Control,
rather than the full-blown intervention, because it doesn't do the spacing very well as you're coming into the airport, and I just find you just end up not landing because the aircraft won't have it, keeps intervening. This is the longest stretch of our route out into Noken. That's a 66 nautical miles, but I mean that's going to take like 9 minutes for us to do. Still a very, very, very legit sim, a Flight Simulator 2020, particularly if you want to use PMDG stuff.
London Control, Ryanair 87 Papa Lima, good evening, descending via Able 2 Papa, flight level 375.
Ryanair 87 Papa Lima, London Control identified.
That aircraft looks awfully close to us. It's reporting it at different altitude.
London Control, Neptune 28 Echo, flight level 190.
Blue Max 562, descend to flight level 070.
Descend to flight level 070, Blue Max 562.
Keeping an eye on our friend over there.
Neptune 28 Echo, London Control identified.
Neptune. Oh, what a call sign.
Easy 84 Kilo Yankee, contact Manchester approach 121.
There's some liveries for that particular carrier as well, and pretty sure they fly the 737, so we're gonna have to do some Neptune flights, I think.
Blue Max 79 Tango Kilo, radar vectors ILS runway 25. Report ready for descent.
I think they're more parallel to us. It looked like they were coming towards us, but actually it looks like we're flying parallel to them.
Blue Max 79 Tango Kilo, fly present heading, descend to flight level 180, Aldergrove Airport landing runway 25.
Fly present heading. Descend to flight level 180, Aldergrove Airport landing runway 25. Blue Max 79 Tango Kilo.
Easy 24 November Charlie, contact Manchester approach 121.355.
Contact Manchester approach 121.355, easy 24 November Charlie.
I mean, it just makes the immersion epic. Makes the world feel alive.
Expect pole 1 Echo, runway 27, Neptune 28 Echo.
Expecting to get our arrival instructions, so let's turn that up just a smidge.
Easy 13 Hotel Echo, London Control, radar contact. Easy 58 Golf Mike, contact Scottish Control 119.875.
Contact Scottish Control 119.875, Easy 58 Golf Mike.
Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, bags 4 Lima, runway 28 left. Report ready for descent.
Bags 4 Lima, runway 28 left, ready for descent. Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha.
Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 09092.
Descend to 10,000 feet, Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha.
Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080, Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha.
Air France 76 Foxtrot Golf, contact London Control 118.475.
Contact London Control 118.475, Air France 76 Foxtrot Golf.
Get our minimums dialed in as well, because it is going to be foggy. Decision altitude 801. One of the things that drives me mad about Bristol is it's quite high elevation.
London Control, Easy 58 Whiskey Juliet. Good evening, descending via left 1 Mike. Flight level 149er.
There's a lot of twisting on the...
Easy 58 Whiskey Juliet, London Control, radar
some
contact.
weather showing up. Interesting.
London Control, Shamrock 725, flight level 320.
Is that lightning?
Shamrock 725, London Control, radar contact.
Okay, wasn't expecting that. Oh, hello. Oh, looks like it's gonna get spicy.
London Control, Ryanair 1 Romeo Delta. Descending via Abley 4 Lima. Flight level 289er.
That's definitely lightning.
58 Whiskey Juliet, contact Manchester approach 121.355.
Contact Manchester approach 121.355.
Oh, yeah, you can hear it.
58 Whiskey Juliet.
I was not expecting that.
562, contact Manchester approach 121.355.
Contact Manchester approach 121.355, Blue Max 562.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, London Control, expect Webby 1 Bravo, runway 27.
Expect Webby 1 Bravo, runway 27, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Okay.
Ryanair 7 Lima Romeo, contact Dublin information approach 118.5.
Not told
Contact Dublin
us
information
it's the
approach
ILS just yet.
118.5.
I would think with this
Ryanair
weather it
7
almost
Lima
certainly will
Romeo.
be. Let's see if we can get the ATC.
Neptune 28 Echo, descend to flight level 080.
2800, temperature 0.
Descend to flight level 08.
QNH 09 and 904. Landing and departing runway 27. Transition
Ryanair 2 Kilo, London Control,
Bird
expect
activity in
Lima,
vicinity
runway
of air
24.
left. Advise on initial contact
Back 4 Lima,
information Mike.
runway 28 left, Ryanair 2 Kilo.
Bristol Air.
Information Mike.
London Control, Easy 34, Papa Charlie, descending via Peps 1 Lima, flight level 227.
Blue Max 8 X-ray, turn right, heading 330. Turn right, heading 330, Blue Max 8 X-ray. Ryanair 1 Romeo Delta, London Control identified. Easy 34 Papa Charlie, London Control, radar contact.
London Control, Ryanair 15 Romeo Juliet, descending via Neri 1 Lima, flight level 233.
Blue Max 8 X-ray, descend to flight level 090.
Descend to flight level 090, Blue Max 8 X-ray.
Ryanair 15 Romeo Juliet, London Control identified.
Let's get 160 dialed in.
Bags 4 Lima, runway 28 left, ready for descent, Ryanair 2 Kilo.
Ryanair 2 Kilo, descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 09902.
Descend to 10,000 feet, Ryanair 2 Kilo.
KLM 965, contact Newcastle Director, approach 125.83.
So OBS disconnect then, I don't know why. Hopefully that's not caused too many problems for everyone.
Shamrock 725, London Control, expect Varpa 1 Golf, runway 34.
We're going to get our descent instructions now, which will be fun.
Runway 34.
We're going to be descending through a thunderstorm, which doesn't make ideal
Blue Max
circumstances.
79 Tango Kilo, flight present heading, descend to flight level 090, vectors for the approach. Expect further. Logan 24 Romeo Papa, contact East Midlands approach 134.18.
Contact East Midlands approach 134.18, Logan 24 Romeo Papa.
Ryanair 15 Romeo Juliet, contact Shannon Control 132.15.
Contact Shannon Control 132.15, Ryanair 15 Romeo Juliet.
Blue Max 8 X-ray, contact Aldergrove approach 133.125. Contact Aldergrove approach 133.125, Blue Max 8 X-ray.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Webby 1 Bravo, runway 27. Report ready for descent.
Webby 1 Bravo, runway 27, we are ready for descent. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, descend to flight level 160.
Descend to flight level 160, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Well, this will be fun.
Contact Liverpool approach 119.855, easy 13 Hotel Echo.
London Control, Ryanair 6, Quebec November, flight level 349er.
Ryanair 6 Quebec November, London Control, radar contact.
I'm sorry, folks, I'm not sure what's going on there with the stream. That's not ideal. I am not in a position, I'm afraid, to sort it out right this second.
London Control, KLM 59 Whiskey, descending via Ogby 1 Mike, flight level 196.
Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha, contact Dublin information approach 118.5.
Contact Dublin information approach 118.5, Ryanair 48 Papa Alpha.
KLM 59 Whiskey, London Control identified. UPS 249 Heavy, contact London Control 118.475.
Contact London Control 118.475, UPS 249 Heavy. Have a good evening.
Ryanair 59...
Getting very aggravating.
Ryanair 12 Charlie X-ray, contact London Control 118.475, bye-bye.
Contact London Control 118.475, Ryanair 12 Charlie X-ray.
Shamrock 725, Vapor 1 Golf, runway 34. Report ready for descent.
Papa 1 Golf, runway 34, ready for descent. Shamrock 725.
Shamrock 725, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 09098.
Descend to 9,000 feet, Shamrock 725.
Now, apologies, folks. There's some slight technical gremlins, which I suppose is not a huge surprise, given it's the first stream we've done in a while. Right, let's get the Bristol QNH dialed in. 0994. I'm sorry about the disconnects, folks. Not sure what's going on there, but we're gonna push on. And one for me to investigate once I'm off stream.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, descend to flight level 150.
Descend to flight level 150, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. No, not that. Fat fingers, folks, fat fingers.
KLM 59 Whiskey, contact Manchester approach 121.355. Contact Manchester approach 121.355, KLM 59 Whiskey.
Now, fingers crossed, hopefully the stream will be a little bit more stable now as we come in for our approach.
ICE Air 750 Heavy, reduce speed to 250 knots. Reduce speed to 250 knots. ICE Air 750 Heavy. ICE Air 750 Heavy, descend to flight level 150. Descend to flight level 150, ICE Air 750 Heavy.
Good evening, London Control, Shamrock 56, Victor. Descending via Neri 1 Lima, flight level of 335.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, descend to 2,500 feet, QNH 09904.
Descend to 2,500, QNH 09904, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. I'm going to ignore that because it's going to hand us straight off.
Negative, descend to 2,500 feet.
2,500 feet, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, contact Bristol approach 136.08.
Bristol approach 136.08, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Easy 34 Papa Charlie, contact Liverpool approach 119.8.
Bristol approach, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Webby 1 Bravo, flight level 150 for 110.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, verify information Mike.
Information Mike verified, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, Bristol approach QNH 09904, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 27.
QNH 09904, expect radar vectors, ILS runway 27, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Negative, QNH 09904.
QNH 09904, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 1 Quebec Mike, contact Bristol Tower 136.08. Over to Tower 136.08, Ryanair 1 Quebec Mike, have a good evening. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, leave Inga heading 135, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 27.
Leave Inga heading 135, expect radar vectors, ILS runway 27, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Thunderstorms seem to have sort of dissipated a bit.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, turn left heading 135, descend to flight level 110, vectors for the approach.
Turn left heading 135, descend to flight level 110, vectors for the approach, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, descend to 5,000 feet.
Descend to 5,000 feet, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. flaps 1. Now, touch wood, stream seems to have sorted itself out for now. And weather's cleared. Flaps 5. Let's get some landing lights on. All of that on. Alright. Let's get the tower dialed in. 133850. One of the quirks is we always get the wrong frequency, but I find if you actually go to the one on the chart, it works fine. It just helps us manage our workload a little bit. And the stream seems to be sort of hanging, staying connected a little bit more consistency, with a bit more consistency, which is good news. See some aircraft already coming in for landing there. That's very cool.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, fly present heading, descend to 4,000 feet.
Fly present heading, descend to 4,000 feet. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Very cool. Right, flaps 15. Gear down.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, turn right heading 165, descend to 3,000 feet.
Turn right heading 165, descend to 3,000 feet. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Quite as foggy as I was expecting it to be. And that's very cool. We've got a whole load of aircraft being vectored in front of us. Very, very cool. Speed brake off. Butt armed. We're doing manual braking today.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, 4 miles from CF27, turn right heading 220, maintain 2,500 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 27.
Turn right heading 220, descend and maintain 2,500 until established, cleared ILS runway 27, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Oh, so cool. So very cool. So we've got that one aircraft ahead of us. Not getting the descent in, but that's fine. We're well below the glide slope.
Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, contact Bristol Tower 136.08.
Bristol Tower 136.08, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Not sure why our airspeed dropped then. A little bit worried about that. Bristol Tower, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, ILS runway 27, 8 miles.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike, Bristol Tower, wind 280 at 12, runway 27 cleared to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. A little bit concerned that we're not seeing glide slope come in there. I don't think it's going to capture it. Oh, no, it has. It's got it. I take it back. Right. Let's slow to our final descent. Speed, flaps 30. I'll stay very eagle-eyed on that airspeed. I don't know why we just got that warning. I mean, to be fair, we were quite close to the sort of threshold of that flap speed. Let's get the ground in 121930. Nice. Alright, get rid of that pen, don't need that for a second. Hopefully the stream's gonna stay steady whilst we come in for our landing. Nice, nice and stabilised. Missed approach is straight up to 3000, then as directed.
4 and approaching minimums.
Auto throttle
300.
off.
Minimums.
Continue. Nice spot on the numbers.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
A little bit long. I'll take it. Reverses. Manual braking. .60 knots. Reverses off.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike, exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway. Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. Nice. Not perfect, but I'll take it. And get the flaps up. Let's get the APU going. Taxiway did we just come off at? It is Golf. Bristol Tower, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike, clear of runway 27 on Golf.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike, welcome to Bristol. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Allocated gate is fine, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike.
Ryanair 4, Papa Mike, gate 30 taxi via Golf Zulu.
Gate 30 via Golf and Zulu, Ryanair 4 Papa Mike. 30, so that's gonna take us. So all the way past 37, not the first left, second left, and then all the way to the end and then on the right. Let's get GSX getting that ready for us. Gate 30. British Airways carrier, because we're Ryanair. Makes no sense. Except it does to me. Always does to me. Okay, APU's going. Flaps are up. Speed brakes retracted. This is what you also find at Bristol is aircraft seem to get stuck here. So 3, 9, 3, 8, 3, 7, not the first left, the second left, so not this one. The next one. So 28 to 33. Next one should be 29 and then 30 here on the end. There should be a marshaller to see us in. 30. Yes, there is. So marshaller. Who? Oh no, he does. He wasn't doing anything. Now he's suddenly doing stuff. Okay. Parking brake. Get power over to the APU. And engine cut off. Ever so slightly overshot then. Okay, let's get the strobe off. Shocks on. Bring ground power. We'll save the environment as soon as that ground power's on. Ground power's on, it's over the ground power, and we'll switch the APU off and save the environment. Nice.
The boarding requested.
There we go, folks. That is us down on the ground at Bristol, getting ready to deboard the passengers. I've got terrible VR hair. I'm sorry for the few technical gremlins, just the stream cutting out from time to time there. I'll do a little bit of investigating into what was going on there, but it's great to be back. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As always, I hope you're very well wherever in the world you are. Stay safe in the skies, and I will see you in my next one.